Thank you. Welcome to
1 minute until showtime.
Health and Wellbeing with Viyahta. We have 1 minute before we go into the Blog Talk Radio studio, but I want to welcome all my YouTube family. So glad you're here. We have got an amazing show today. We're talking about exploring the root cause of malignant cancer cells. But today is going to be very interesting because we got a war going on over there in the Middle East. And I'm going to show you how the cancer cells are over there too in the war in the Middle East. So let's welcome you right now with my my YouTube welcome video. I want to welcome you with the cows and the horses to bring you into the minimalist lifestyle that I love. So let's get
4, 3, 2, 1.
So we are here in the Blog Talk Radio studio, YouTube studio, and Facebook Live. So where invite your friends. Very important show today because we're all affected by the cells. And we're going to talk about all those cells roaming around the country, all for good or bad, however you look at it. No polarization today. We want to welcome our global family because this is a global platform. So let us welcome our global family with
On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao.
Ni Hao.
In India, Namaste.
Namaste.
In Japan, Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo.
Annyeonghaseyo.
In Russia, Здравствуйте.
Здравствуйте.
In Germany, Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
In Poland, Dzień dobry.
Dzień dobry.
In France, Bonjour.
Bonjour.
In Spain, Hola.
Hola.
In Italy, Ciao.
Ciao.
In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
In Ghana, Akwaba.
Akwaba.
In Nigeria, Peleo.
Peleo.
In South Africa, Sawubona.
Sawubona.
In Senegal, Nangadesh.
Nangadesh.
In Kenya, Jambo.
Jambo.
In Israel, Shalom.
Shalom.
In Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Saudi Arabia,
Assalamu alaikum.
Greetings, and may peace be upon you all.
Welcome, bienvenido. We are here in my tiny house, 320 square feet of total peace, no stress. This is the lifestyle for me, and I want to inspire you to think about going tiny because it's a less stressful lifestyle. But welcome. Today we have a very, very important topic. This is actually boot camp part 2. Yesterday, my partner and I did a YouTube video called Boot Camp. I forget the whole name, but it's about boot camp, learning how to boot camp for peace. Right, that was the name of it. Go to my YouTube channel, Viyahta's Tiny House Village, and you can see my partner and I for an hour share the experience and knowledge of a Vietnam veteran and a holistic life coach come together to give you the wisdom, truth, and love that you need in this season of conflict. We're in conflict with the opposing warrior forces, okay? But today, I want to bring you the wisdom and knowledge about the army within and the cells within, as well as the army without and the cells without that are affecting our lives, our human experience on planet Earth. Okay, that's what it's all about. And I'm here every Friday to help you take charge of your health. It's not necessary to depend all the time on the medical system. But let me give a disclaimer because this show is not intended to replace any advice you may be receiving from your doctor. If you have a chronic or an acute health condition in your body that you have not been able to resolve, solve, release, please see your trusted health professional. Okay? Always want people to know that, remind people that there are choices you can make to improve the health of your body. And one of them is to see a trusted health professional. I, for one, stay away from doctor DRs and all that. So I've had some really horrific experiences with these men and women in that profession. And I choose to educate myself about this temple that my soul resides in. Okay. So that's why I encourage you every Friday morning to do some joint rolling. Why joint rolling? Joint rolling helps your lymphatic system drain the toxins out of the body better into the colon, out the back. It helps your circulation, move that blood around, move that blood around, move that blood around so it doesn't become stagnant and your joints start to hurt and your neck hurts and all that. And then your circulation or your immune system. Three areas: lymphatic, circulation, and immune system. Now, there's more systems in there, but we focus on three of those systems every Friday morning when we do joint rolling. We're moving all those elements around because we're moving our body. And that's really the key to longevity. If you watch the Netflix documentary about centenarians and the blue zone, you will see that the research being done about people who live to be 100, one of the main discoveries, revelations is that they move a lot. They move a lot. Okay. So that's what we encourage you to do here is eat less, move more. I'm 68 years old and I move a lot. And when I'm not able to move, I start thinking, what have I done to create this lack of energy? And that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, because that's one of the signs that your body is producing more cancer cells activated instead of the sleeping ones being in dormant state. We're going to talk about all that today, how there are dormant sleeping cells here and there's dormant sleeping cells out there that wake up when the war starts, okay? So let us get busy with some breathing. That goes along with the joint rolling. If you're new to this channel, this program, breath work is key to taking charge of your health. Deep breathing activates all those systems in your body. If you're walking around shallow breathing and you're not taking in the oxygen, you're not breathing, you're sad and depressed, that's how your cancer cells can become awakened and malignant and moving more and more and more. So we want to keep those cancer cells at bay. And we all have cancer type cells. We have different types of cells in our body. There are cancer cells in there, but when they're dormant or sleeping, they're not doing any harm. They're not destroying and killing anything, okay? When they wake up, you got trouble, you got problems. And part of the reason those cells wake up is because you're not deep breathing. You're not taking in the life force, the clouds, the sun, the moon, the trees, the birds, the bees, the grass, the oxygen. You're not taking in those life forces when cancer develops. That's part of the equation. We're going to get into more of that. But let's just practice Inhaling through the nose, inhaling through the nose, hold it for a few seconds and exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Hold it for a few seconds. Exhale. You want to practice that all day long, especially if you get into a stressful situation, car traffic, any type of situation that causes you to go, breathe, breathe. That's the reminder that I throw out there every day. Breathe, breathe. If someone's stressed about a relative, a child, taking a deep breath. The oxygen helps the brain function better, helps the digestion function better. That breath work helps everything function better, especially your decision making capabilities. Okay. All right. One more breath. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And release. Now I want you to keep that breath work going as we play the music. Time for Healing by the Sounds of Blackness. I love this music because it speaks to the times we're in. It's still after 2 or more years, this music is still time for healing more than ever. More than ever, we got this conflict going in the news, in the media, over there, in here, right here in the body. Let's resolve the conflict first and foremost by moving the joints, getting the lymphatic, the circulation, and the immune system moving to help us make better decisions. So for the next 6 minutes, we're going to be rolling our neck, or let's see, we don't really roll the neck. We roll the head. We're going to rotate the head around in both directions. Then we're going to go to the shoulders, move the shoulders back and then forward. Then we're going to do some swimming in the sea of energy to get the back muscles moving as well, rotating the spine a little bit, move joint rolling the spine. And then what we do is get on our back, kick the legs up, and I show you 2 ways to get the lymphatic circulation and immune system moving. 2 ways to move your ankle joints, knee joints, and your hip joints. And then we come back up after all that rolling around and getting high. Yeah, we're rolling joints to get high on life. That's what we do. We don't need all these other elements. We've been there, done that. And then we come back up and we give our vagus nerve, which runs from the brain stem all the way down. It communicates to your army. We're going to talk about this army down here in the gut. This is your army inside. We got that army over there, which is full of AI technology, guns and military, blah, blah, blah. But the biggest, most important army for you is your gut, your microbiome. So we're going to talk about that in terms of root cause of malignant sleeper cells, cancer cells that wake up when we have chronic stress, chronic conflicts, all that going on inside and outside of us. That's why I'm kind of calling this Boot Camp for Peace Part 2. Because yesterday, if you missed it, go to my YouTube channel. I have male-female perspective on boot camp in the military and for the future Boot Camp for Peace. So let's get busy with the Sounds of Blackness, Time for Healing. And let's start with the head. Chin to chest. And roll that head around. Slowly, take your time. Breathing in and out. Take your time. Breathing in and out. Going insane. Everywhere you turn. Suffering and pain. Right now is high suffering and pain. But we're going to bring relief to our bodies today. Woman, child, all this insanity. All right. Moving that head around both directions. Loosening up that neck that holds a lot of weight. This head weighs a lot of weight. Thank goodness we have been given a vessel to hold the head up and carry this weight. All right now let's get those shoulders loosened up, rolling the shoulders back. Old wounds and scars. That's what's bringing the cancer cells alive. They're not sleeping anymore. Those cancer cells woke up, especially in the last couple of weeks. They're waking up. Let's get control. Let's balance them out. All right, now let's go forward with the shoulders. Forward with the shoulders. Ooh, feeling better already. If you had a sleeping position, we're talking about sleepers today, that caused you discomfort this morning. This is how you undo. Move those shoulder muscles. Now let's go swimming in the sea of energy. Front crawl, all this beautiful energy. And backstroke. Woo! Waking up those sleeper cells and helping them do good, not bad, not good. We're doing good things to our body, waking up these cells. All right, now let's get on our back and kick those legs up. You want to kick the legs up and roll those ankles and your wrist around. Ankles and wrists right now. And go in both directions. Rolling these joints, getting high. Your body is getting high. Happy body right now. Happy body. All right, now if you cannot roll, just point and flex. Point and flex. Make it easy on yourself. Point and flex. Point and flex. Now let's roll the lower leg around to get these knee joints lubricated and lymphatic moving in both directions. Try to understand that we have got to learn to live together. Yes, you, Israel, and Palestine. Let's learn to live together. All right, if you can't roll, just flex and bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. You could actually do your ankles together with your knees if you want. Bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. Now let's get on our side. We gotta move these hip joints. You could probably avoid hip surgery. I'm not saying it's a definite, but if you moved this hip joint or lubricated the hip joint more, you might avoid surgery in the future. So it's worth a try. Reverse. Go the other direction. Swallow your pride. Swallow your pride. Swallow your pride. All right, let's turn over on the other side and get that other hip joint lubricated. Slowly take your time. The world has gone insane, but we keep rolling, right? That's our motto. Keep rolling, even when insanity rules in governments and all over the world. Governments have gone insane. People have gone, the military have gone insane. We keep rolling, one direction and the other. Now, if you cannot, for some reason, roll that leg around, then just stay on your back and lift one leg up at a time, and you will get the same effect to lubricate those hip joints. Just lift one leg up at a time, straight leg. Lift it up one at a time. And let's end this with grab those knees, hug those knees, rock side to side, hug those knees, and let's rub the bottom of the feet and the hands if you can to get to meridians moving, 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 meridians moving, meridians moving. And let's turn over to one side and push up. And congratulate yourself for moving that body. Now let's just end it all with a vagus nerve massage. Just rub those hands together, heat up to get the heat going, get those hands heat. Place them on the back of your neck, squeeze and release. Squeeze. Just give your whole neck area from the brain stem all the way down. Yes, yes, yes. I just got a message from my brother Eddie about the metaphysics in the date today. There's a lot about this date that we should be conscious of. We'll talk about that maybe later. October 13th. Squeezing, squeezing, patting on the shoulders, pat down, pat down, pat down, pat the arm, get the activate the skin. The skin is the largest external organ in your body. It needs to be loved and touched. Get the boobies, touch the boobies, and stop massage around the breast. We don't want any stagnant cells in there. If the cells are angry for any reason, just get them moving with a love touch. Touch, 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 touch. Your body needs to be touched. If not by you, find a massage therapist to touch. And then let's massage around your navel. That's where your army is. We're talking military today, folks. We got to talk military. And it's about boot camp for peace. We need some peace in the earth. And then let's finally go back here where your kidneys and adrenal glands are right here. And let's just give them some massage and love. They love, woohoo! They're like, woohoo! They're celebrating. Give them a pat. Say thank you. Talk to your body. Thank you, adrenal glands, for managing all those stress hormones for me. And thank you, kidneys, for rinsing out the mess, the shit, if you will, getting it all moved out. And woohoo! We did it. I'm invigorated, sweating a little bit because it's kind of warm in here. Get the sweat going. That's good too. So we are ready to go into the studio. Let's go to the studio out of my living room. You can see a little bit of my ceiling where all my beautiful plants are growing. And get back into the studio with my father, Sherman, my ancestor, Sherman Howard, is with me every week, every show. I put up his book cover, Sherman J. Howard, Football and Beyond. I wrote that book for 6 years. It took me 6 years from Chicago to Florida communicating with my dad about his life as a pioneer, football pioneer, NFL pioneer. So that's why I love the fact that he's right there holding on to getting ready to catch that ball. He's holding on. He's with me. Ancestors, we call in our ancestors even now to help us, because these are some tumultuous times, brothers and sisters. We need our ancestors more than ever right now. So let's be cognizant of that. So today, it's kind of like Boot Camp for Peace Part 2. As I said, I sat down with my brother, friend, partner, Caue, yesterday. We did a YouTube for a whole hour explaining the military, man's military boot camp, what goes on in the military to train men for war. Woohoo! So we're in the mind now. We went over from there to boot camp for peace. We are training. We are being trained to bring peace. We have to, as our response to the craziness going on in the Middle East, that's been there for years now. And we're going to talk today about German New Medicine, which is, I am a practitioner of German New Medicine. But first, for those of you who don't understand cancer, we only got a few minutes before the break. How does cancer start? I'm going to give you a conventional view, kind of an animated view of how cancer starts. Uh, because that we want to go from the conventional, traditional look at dis-ease, which is a temporary imbalance. We're talking about a temporary imbalance in the body. And we want to go from that. This convention, it's about 3 minutes, a little over 3 minutes. We want to go from the convention, what we've heard all our lives about this dis-ease, temporary imbalance, to the more metaphysical, spiritual aspect of it, especially since it's October 13, Friday the 13th. People are thinking about that. What does that mean? Well, it means more input from spirit, from metaphysics, invisible. So we want to go from an explanation, what man has described as a dis-ease, temporary mal, what it is, how it starts, all that. And then we're going to gradually get into what is going on inside, how you overcome it, and especially how it relates to the current conditions in our world of war and peace, and bringing it all together. So let's go to, how does the cancer start?
The number of cells in a tissue is determined by the balance between cell division and cell death. Uncontrollable cell division leads to formation of abnormal growths called tumors. Tumors can be benign or malignant. Benign tumors are slow growing and constrained by surrounding connective tissue, so they do not spread to other organs. They can still be harmful or even kill by pressing on nearby nerves, blood vessels, or brain tissue. Examples of benign tumors include pituitary tumors, which may press on optic nerves and cause loss of vision. Cancers are malignant tumors, tumors that can spread beyond the limit of the original organ where it comes from and to other organs of the body. Cancer starts from damage in the DNA of a cell. This DNA damage is called mutation. Mutations happen when the cell duplicates its DNA prior to cell division and makes mistakes. These damages are usually detected and repaired before the cell can divide, but sometimes some of them may be ignored and transferred to daughter cells. If the mutation is located in one of many genes that control the cell cycle, it may affect the regulation of cell cycle in the cell carrying it and make the cell divide faster than it's supposed to. Usually, one mutation is not enough to cause cancer, but as it makes the cell cycle control less reliable, many more DNA damages or mutations would go unnoticed. Cancer is usually the result of accumulation of many mutations of genes involved in cell cycle control and DNA repair. This commonly happens over a long period of time, over many rounds of cell divisions, and this explains why cancers are more common in older people. Some people are said to be predisposed to cancer. This is because they are born with a mutation that makes them more likely to develop a certain type of cancer. This mutation alone is not enough to cause cancer, but it starts the process of making the cells cancerous. The person carrying it is one step further down the road towards developing a cancer than others who do not have the mutation. Cancer cells do not stick together like normal cells. They move and invade nearby tissues and organs. This is local spread. They may also spread to further away organs by means of blood or lymph circulation. This is systemic spread. Metastasis is the spreading of cancers to non-adjacent organs. Cancer cells from the original tumor or primary cancer can break out and may be taken up by a blood or lymph vessel for a ride throughout the body. They can then squeeze out from the vessel into other tissues and start a new tumor growth in the new location, which will become secondary cancer. While traveling in the bloodstream, a cancer cell usually stops at the first place where the vessel is getting so narrow that it gets stuck, as blood flow from most organs goes to the capillaries of the lungs. This is where cancer is spread the most. Lungs are indeed the most common site of secondary cancers. Likewise, while traveling in the lymphatic system, Cancer cells commonly get stuck in the nearest lymph nodes where the vessels get narrower. This is the reason why surgeons usually remove nearby lymph nodes when removing tumors.
Okay, so that was a very technical, confusing almost the information about tumors, benign DNA, genes, cell division, very important word there, division. Invade nearby tissue, invasion. Does that not ring a bell in the news lately? Invasion, and systemic. It's all over the place, and there's no such thing as metastasizing. No, in my German new medicine study, cell. Let me say this, and then we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back to your calls. Thank you for calling in and participating today. We always welcome your participation. You have a question, comment, you want to add to the topic, you have some knowledge. We all become two students today or teachers. So this idea that the cancer spreads to the lungs, spreads to the brain, not so. We're gonna kill that idea. What actually happens is the brain, the lungs, all these other parts develop a conflict. We got conflicts all over the place right now. We got a conflict in Israel. We got a conflict in Ukraine. We got a conflict in Palestine. We got conflicts all over the place. The cancer doesn't just spread from Israel to Palestine. Palestine picks up the anger. The Palestine starts the anger. Israel maintains the anger and resistance and all the other negative energy. And then they each develop their own cancer. We got cancers growing in different places, but they didn't just spread, honey. They developed from the minds and the hearts of the cells, let's call cells in there. And sleeper cells are all over the place. We all have cells, you could call them benign. Let's say we have benign cells in the United States. We got benign cells over in Switzerland. We got benign cells right here in this body temple, benign cells. They're very peaceful until what happens? What happens that wakes up those benign cells? That's what we're talking about today. What woke up the sleepers? You know what I mean? Military people know what I'm talking about. And that's what we talked about yesterday in the YouTube. You want to go watch the YouTube video, uh, Boot Camp for Peace. This is part 2. Only we're going deep into the body today to help us, united spirits, united so overstand. I don't say overstand, understand this war mentality that's going on and how we need to bring peace. How do we bring peace? Starts right here in here. This is where the peace education journey begins, right in here, because it all relates to Mother Earth, which is one big cell, Mother Earth, and it all mirrors and spreads out to every human cell. We got trillions of cells, and the most important cells in our body are, guess what? You've heard it, microbiome cells. Going to reintroduce you to your army. Your army is your microbiome cells, and that's why here on Health and Wellbeing we stress all the time, all the time, all the time to build up your army, because you never know when the sleeper cells are going to wake up and those benign cells are going to wake up. But you can know, we're going to tell you how you know those benign cells are ready to start causing a war. And your army, your microbiome will take full care of that if you're feeding it. So let's take a quick break here and come back. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to prepare for the benign cells that are ready to wake up. and cause all kind of havoc. Because what? We have not been practicing one important thing to keep them at bay. That's what we're talking about today. So call your friends, be alert, get your pens and pencils out. It's an important day, October the 13th, to talk about military operation first inside your body. We'll be right back.
Are you constantly arguing with your spouse? Are your children misbehaving and acting out? Is someone in your family abusing drugs? Have you been a victim of domestic violence? Are you grieving over the loss of a loved one? Let us help you restore serenity to your life. At Serenity Family Social Services, we understand that good mental health is a result of emotional well-being. Our goal is to assist you and your family in removing emotional distress and restoring harmony and balance to your lives. We offer individual, couples, and family counseling. I'm Howard Williams, CEO of Serenity Family Social Services. Call us today at 312-315-4820. That's 312-315-4820. What happens when a group of people are kidnapped from their homes, smuggled away in chains, and held captive in a foreign land where they are tortured, raped, and forced to perform hard labor by the lash of a whip and under the constant threat of death? Slavery, the African American psychic trauma. What happened to the doctors, writers, scientists, builders, educators, and spiritual leaders from Africa's golden age? Who did they really capture and sell into slavery? Are all African Americans suffering from psychic trauma because of a conspiracy to hide their true identities? Do you have psychic trauma? Take the test on page 22 of the book and see. Order it online today at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. And get your personally autographed copy of the book, Slavery, the African American Psychic Trauma.
Do you worry about finances, family, health, job, relationships? Are you in pain? Do you feel stuck? If you answered yes to any of these questions, help is available. Don't worry, you're not alone. It's part of the human process. You only feel this way because you haven't mastered the voices in your head. No hype, just down-to-earth, solid, workable tools and techniques that you can practice daily. It's really food for the soul, whether you want to learn how not to worry about anything, reverse type 2 diabetes, publish a book, promote your product or service, or just make extra money. Take advantage of the deal of the day. Go to zeldaspeaks.com or call 312-409-6619. Mention promo code The Female Solution and get free shipping. That's zeldaspeaks.com or 312-409-6619. Stop worrying today. Visit zeldaspeaks.com.
And we are back. Now, I just got a notice from a friend who sends me a lot of things on Telegram. That's the alternative, that there's a state of emergency that's been declared by 3 states in the United States. Now, why would they do that? Let me think about it for a second. Why? Because what we're talking about is sleeper cells, benign cells. Benign cells in here, sleeper cells out there. Military people know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to open up Kwami's phone in a minute because he's military veteran. Somebody says we got a state of emergency in 3 states. And I can't figure out who they are yet. And the National Guard, it's been activated. Hello. Couldn't have been a better subject today. The root cause of malignant cancer cells. How do these benign cells get activated? National Guard, hello. That means National Guard is right here in the brain, in on the internal side of this conflict that we all being witness to. Your brain is the National Guard. Activate, activate. Hello, my brain says, microbiome, get ready. Army, get ready. The stress is gonna come real heavy in the next what hours, days, who knows? If they're activating the National Guard in 3 states, I'm just saying, get ready. Army, right here. Peace. There has to be a boot camp of peace right now, moving us to a place of de-stressing every announcement that we hear, whether it's over there in the Middle East and that started a week or so ago, or whether it's right here in the Estados Unidos. You think we're going to get away with all this attack on other countries, Gaddafi killing, all this karmic patterns? This is what I talked about yesterday, that we need to be aware of, brothers and sisters. Karmic patterns manifesting right now, because you think you're going to get away with all your anger and cursing and hatred and blah, 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 blah. That's what's called chronic conflict. And that's what causes the benign cells to wake the F up and start the tumor story. Tumor. You go to, I haven't been feel. Here's the symptoms, signs of cancer. I don't feel well lately. I have no energy. I got my skin's breaking out. I can't digest my food. I'm my skin, my vision's blurry. All the imbalances that we go to the doctor for and asking for help, help me, help me. I can't breathe well. These are the chronic conflict signs that you've been holding on to, all your hatred, your unforgiveness, all of those emotional energies have created tumors. The benign cells are happy, happy, happy to be in part of the army. The benign cells in your body, just part of your microbiome. The cancer cells dwell in arms everywhere, and they're just happy. They don't do anything. They're just asleep. They're asleep. The minute you start activating your anger, and the minute you and the whether it's 2 years ago, 3 months ago, 2 years ago, whatever, you're activating this anger. You're not forgiving it. He offended me. Oh my goodness, he offended me, and you hold on to that for 3 years. Guess what? Your benign tumors, your benign cells that were happy, happy, happy to dwell along with the army, mix in there with our microbiome, they wake up and say, oh, because that energy of unforgiveness, of hatred, of fear is more powerful to wake up your benign cells. And that's what we're seeing right now in the Middle East and everywhere else. Those sleeper cells woke the hell up, because it's time to deal with the unforgiveness, the fear, the anger. You did this to me, you did that to me. And my partner and I talked about yesterday, you got to get rid of this polarization, taking sides. You did that, meh, 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 like little kids. We got governments all over the world acting like little kids in the playground. All right. So now we as a people, as I said, my friend just said, and somebody can either validate this or not, we got a National Guard activated in New York, California, and Florida, according to my friend who gives me all this, declared a state of emergency, and they've activated the National Guard. So here today on this show, we're going to activate our National Guard, which is our brain, our mental state of mind. National Guard, this nation of cells from the head to the toe. National, here it is, guarding us. The brain, activate. I'm activating my national brain, my brain. Go into active boot camp for peace, letting go of the fear. Why? Because death is not something eternal. You don't go into eternal death when your soul leaves your body. So I'm activating peace right now. Okay. So we're gonna go to, oh, I don't know if Kwame, you had your hand up. Did you change your mind? Kwame, your mic is open. Okay, he's okay. I'll wait for Kwame. Kwame had his hand up. So here we are, root cause of malignant cancer cells. I want to remind everyone about your army, your microbiome. This is your army. When you were talking about a war inside, the microbiome is your army. And we got a lot of this going on the outside of us. So we want to be reminded what's going on the inside.
Our bodies are home to over 100 trillion microorganisms. These microorganisms are found everywhere and make up microbiomes. Over the course of evolution, microbes have evolved with us and have an important role in the human body. Without our microbiome, we wouldn't be able to survive. Microorganisms live all over the body, but have the highest density and diversity within the gastrointestinal tract. The gut microbiome is vital for digestion and helps us break down complex carbohydrates, such as starch from potatoes and cereals, and fiber from fruits and vegetables. The microbiome also helps provide vitamins and minerals needed to survive. As well as aiding in digestion, the gut microbiome is thought to play an important role in protecting against disease. Stomachs with a healthy microbiome are thought to be so diverse that when pathogenic bacteria are present, such as Helicobacter pylori, which causes stomach ulcers, they aren't able to thrive and cause disease. Studies have also linked a diverse microbiome to improved heart and brain health, weight control, reduced blood sugar levels, and a lower risk of diabetes. An imbalance of microorganisms in the gut is known as microbial dysbiosis. A gut with reduced microbial diversity may make it more susceptible to infection. The microbiome has also been linked to the nervous system and mental health. An inefficient digestive system has been associated with an over or understimulation of nerves carrying information from the stomach to the brain, and could be linked to a range of conditions, including depression and anxiety. It is thought that the microbiome is essential to your well-being, and there are ways to promote a diverse gut microbiota. Eating a varied diet, not using unnecessary antibiotics, and spending more time outdoors are a few ways to promote and maintain a healthy gut.
All right, that's your army. Got to talk military right now because we're really moving into a new phase of life in the United States. In fact, all over the world. That's why I love our greeting and our ending, where we recognize, acknowledge the people, the humans all over the world with thank yous and greetings, because we are all one. And that's what Boot Camp for Peace is all about, recognizing we need to unify as one big cell in the earth to change the psychopathic leadership, to change the maniac leadership that we've all been privy to over the last hundreds of years, and to become the conscious, loving beings that we were meant to be. In the meantime, as I said, we're getting news that the National Guard's been called out, and 3 states, at least 3, are under alert now for some state of emergency. Now, why would that be happening right now with military bullshit going on? Not bullshit. This is serious stuff, because when you think, again, military, the brain here in this body is the National Guard. Here we go. I'm activating my National Guard. Tap, 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 tap. National Guard, be on alert for bullshit that's coming our way pretty soon. It's here. And then the microbiome. When you activate your National Guard, your brain's going to communicate to your army. Remember that video audio just said 100 trillion microbes in your gut. Do you think 100 trillion microbes in this vessel, this tank moving around on the earth, can protect you, alert you, balance your benign cancer cells, do whatever the hell you need done. Of course it can. The study of the microbiome has moved along so much over the last, what, 10 years. What they thought they knew, that, stomach to the brain communication, brain to the gut communication, all of this is all advanced now. They know so much more about the microbiome and the 100 trillion cells living in the gut and all over your body. It's like a joke when people are bringing out all this hand sanitizer. Oh, we got to wash our hands. I have people in my life, every time we go to the restaurant, everywhere we go, here's the hands. They want to pass around the hand sanitizer so that we all don't have any germs on our body. Guess what? They're in the air. They're everywhere. The only way you are going to prevent becoming out of balance because of germs in the atmosphere is for you to build up your army. That's what we're talking about. Building up your army and practicing the energy of love, not the energy of unforgiveness, which wakes up the cells. That is what, my brothers and sisters, is going on in the Middle East. We've had chronic conflict for years and years and years between two nations, two group of people, whatever, 3-4 groups of people. Chronic means long term. You have acute, which is short term. I get mad at you, you get mad at me, we don't talk to each other for, let's say, 2 days. That's acute. We call each other and say, I'm so sorry. I'm not saying I apologize. I don't like to say I am with any words that would be lower vibration. You call up, I apologize for being rude to you. Oh, I know you didn't mean it. We have these, but let's have tea. Let's go out and have tea and let's hug each other. And then we go on. That's acute. That's 2 days of conflict. No cancer cells growing, no malignancies growing. 2 days of, I don't like you. And then we go hug and kiss and make up. You got what's going on in the Middle East and in most people's lives is years, chronic conflict. I don't like you. You hurt my feelings. I'm not going to talk to you. Years and years. And guess what happens in the temple house? The sleeper cells wake up and they say, wow, let's bring some tumors into the picture. Maybe they'll stop this foolishness of unforgiveness. Maybe they'll stop this hatred and petty complaining and petty this and petty that. Maybe that'll stop if we show up with tumors, these big monsters of weapons. The tumor is almost like a weapon. So what do we have in the Middle East right now? Chronic conflict has woken up the benign cells in the body, or if you want to call it sleeper cells in the universe, in the society. And guess what? They're going to wreak havoc. They're going to cause some pain. That's what's going on right now in the Middle East. Pain, suffering, crying. Oh my goodness. And do we not feel it? Of course we do. Of course we do. If you are consciously aware that we are one, this is one big cell in the earth. And if you know, especially here on the Female Solution, we greet our family every time we come on. Gracias, muchos gracias, shalom. We acknowledge every cell on the planet on the Female Solution. So we are practicing unity and oneness on the Female Solution. No competition. We are all women on these platforms bringing love, truth, and raising up the population to be more than we thought we could be. So today, I want to introduce you to German New Medicine. I don't know what happened. Kwame comes in and out, raising his hand, putting his hand down. So hopefully Kwame will come back in. But I want to introduce you to German New Medicine because that is what I've been practicing over the last maybe 20 years now. My sister passed in 2005. And it's been almost 20 years. And that's when I learned about the cause of her breast cancer was not just cells. No, that it was more to it than that. Her breast cancer, prostate cancer is chronic conflict. How is what chronic conflict that says I'm not going to forgive myself first. That's the first chronic conflict. I did all these crazy things that the world calls sin. Oh, you're a sinner. You bad girl. You need to go to confession every week and try and get rid of that sin. But it didn't work. I still am holding on to unforgiveness. Every time I leave that little box in the Catholic Church, oh, well, look what I've done. Oh, I've done this. That chronic unforgiveness is what causes the malignant cancer cells to wake up. And the chronic unforgiveness over there in the Middle East, years and years and years of unforgiveness, hatred, can't come to it, no harmony, no unity, years and years. We're looking at a serious karmic pattern. Pass the popcorn, please. This is a big show that we ought to be learning from so that we're not repeating it in here. Because now, if we've got the National Guard activated in the Estados Unidos, United States, guess what? The cancer is waking up here in the United States. Sleeper cells waking up, ready to cause havoc on a country that's been practicing chronic conflict, going over there, messing with governments everywhere. This is the United States military government, psychopathic, ego-minded, narcissistic government we've been in for the last 500 years. Now, guess what? Roosters coming home to roost. With it, chickens are coming home to roost, you might say. This might be the week it happens. So what are we going to do? We're going to prepare individually for boot camp for peace, starting with this National Guard brain that activates our microbiome for peace. And here's what I want to bring to you about German New Medicine is the biological explanation, truth about what is going on with conflict. So pay attention, not just for your body, but for what's going on in the Middle East. Think as you listen to this about the Middle East and all the suffering, all the pain, all the death, all the bloodshed that's going on there that could happen here if we don't get our act together with forgiveness, love, peace, and harmony, and prepare. If you're a gun owner, this might be the time to bring out the guns. Okay, I'm just saying, Estados Unidos. I'm just glad we got the First, Second Amendment, whatever it is, that allows citizens to keep their guns. Because guess what? When the sleeper cells wake up, like they did in Israel, nobody had guns, evidently, to get rid of the terrorists, which is, guess what? The activated malignant cancer cell becomes a terrorist in your body because you have not been practicing forgiveness, love, peace, harmony, and getting rid of the fear. So let's listen to German New Medicine biological laws. See, the laws have been broken all over the place. Ugh. And we're about to see some real action in the United States that is a consequence of broken biological laws, international laws, and especially spiritual laws. We are out of alignment with the Most High Creator's truth, wisdom, and love. So here's a lesson about biological laws, but also about nature.
There is nothing random about whatever kind of disease or condition that you've developed. There's nothing random about, what is called an autoimmune condition. The body does not do random things. Dr. Hammer, which is the German medical doctor who made this discovery of these 5 natural biological laws of nature, that revealed to me, just the depths of wisdom within the body.
Right. there's always a reason. Nature has a reason, and we have looked at what the body is doing out of context for hundreds of years. And out of context, it looks like, oh, random cells are growing. Oh, the body's attacking itself. And so we try to intervene and we try to stop it. We try to, give the body drugs and do all sorts of things to like make this thing stop happening. But with Dr. Hammer's discoveries, we see this is happening for a reason, and we have to get to the cause. We have to look at what was it that initiated this adaptive process in the psyche brain organ, and by resolving that conflict, that's how you get back to homeostasis, which is health, which is balance. And so the first biological law, psyche brain organ, something happens, something catches you off guard. And the big distinction here is it's not just stress, because a lot of people are like, oh, stress and disease. Okay, I get it. It's not as simple as that. It is more profound and impactful. Like the conflict shock moment when you're caught off guard, you feel totally isolated in that moment. You feel totally alone, completely caught off guard, on the wrong foot. And that's what, boom, kind of sets off this adaptation process. So how the psyche perceives it, and that's not just the mind. That's not like, the thing that's thinking inside of your head. It's like the deep biological wisdom of your entire being. And so that wisdom makes an assessment of the situation that you're dealing with before you even have a chance to like have any cognition about it. Before you're like having thoughts about it, it's already in motion. Like the body has this language that it perceives before like words in your head appear. And so it's initiated there. There's an impact in the brain. And that's one of the really cool, amazing things about this work is that via CT brain scan, you can actually have your brain mapped out entirely and we can see all the stuff that's happened to you in your life. There are impacts in the brain that control different regions, different portions of the body. And so psyche, brain, and then organ. That's where the adaptation happens. And the adaptation basically can be fit under 3 categories. Either there's tissue loss. So for example, like if there's something stuck in your throat, the throat needs to widen, or it needs to produce more mucus or saliva in order for whatever's there to be able to get down or to come up. And so we're either going to be losing cells, widening, opening, increasing cells so we can produce more juices, or there's loss of function. And so that's basically how the first biological law, how we can understand what's happening, the shock, the adaptation cascade, and then that persists. And then we can get into the second biological law if you want to pause for any questions.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's making me think like, how does someone even discover all of this? Like it's so wild to me and interesting to really learn all those connections and understand those connections is just, it's just amazing. So I was thinking like, in terms of conflict, have you ever worked with somebody where they don't know what the conflict is? Like they can't actually make that connection between their disease state and the conflict that happened or the trauma?
Sometimes it's tough because sometimes it happened a very, very long time ago. And then once you start stacking conflicts, he discovered something else incredible called constellations, which is when we have conflicts that are impacting opposite sides of the brain in the cerebral cortex. And this is what is the cause of what we call mental illness. So schizophrenia, depression, all sorts of, psychiatric conditions, OCD, autism. It has to do with the brain and the sequence of the conflicts. And so sometimes it can get really messy because life is long and we have stuff that happens to us. But once we can at least have the categories, we know where to look. And one of the things that I rely on is the fact that your nervous system knows, the deeper wisdom within you knows, your intuition can access this information. And sometimes the information is buried so deeply because it shouldn't be touched. There are some conflicts that it happened so early and it impacted your psyche in such a way where there's kind of there's imbalance, but things have stacked up and now it's balanced. And so there are actually some things you don't want to disturb, that you just want to, kind of let them be as it is, and you can learn to downgrade. And the cool thing about constellations, for example, is it's quirky. It's what makes people so interesting and access, certain types of creative states and, writing flows. There's something called mythomanic. I mean, it's just the coolest stuff. And so, yes, sometimes it's hard to recollect, like in your memory, because, even like, for example, separation conflict, part of the biological program is short-term memory loss. So you actually forget the thing that you wanted to separate from. So there's purpose even behind the things that you can't remember. But I always recommend, sometimes people start getting stressed out about it. What if I can't remember? What if I can't take action? Let's downgrade that. It's like, whatever you need to see, you will be able to see. And sometimes it helps to have, another party, someone like asking you questions to bring certain things up. But trusting in the big picture that you can use this information to improve what it's like to be used, to improve your health, to downgrade symptoms. So the second biological law is the law of two phases. And this is amazing. There's so much, it's math, and that's the cool thing about the universe and the biological laws in nature. It's like there is math going on here at this kind of quantum amazing level. And so we have a normal day-night rhythm. And so normally during the day, the body is more sympathetic, active. We're out hunting, we're gathering, we are, sustaining our survival. And then in the evening, that's the rest and digest. That's the parasympathetic, also the feed and breed. And so normal day-night rhythm, that's just the moment you have a conflict shock, the body shifts into heightened sympathetic activity. And so that's when the adaptation is actively happening. This is when those cells are building, or the cells are decreasing, or the function is decreasing. And that adaptation is in response to what you're experiencing. So you're going to have like chronic thinking about whatever the issue is, this unresolved conflict. You're waking up like at 2 or 3 in the morning, just like wide awake with this thing on your mind. Hands are cold, feet are cold, digestion slow. So these are a lot of the indications. Gosh, I'm in conflict right now. Like, I know if I wake up at 3 a.m., there's something unresolved. There's something going on. And in those moments, typically, like when you're in the conflict active phase, like 60 to 80% of conflicts, you're not even going to know. You're not going to feel any symptoms yet. It's just going to be the preoccupied thinking, the cold hands. There's going to be some indications, but you're not going to know like which organ exactly is involved. I have gotten to the point though where I can tell if I'm in a conflict where I'm feeling soiled and I'm building what will eventually be a zit. I can tell when I'm in a conflict and I'm actively that there's tissue eroding. Even and this is, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, are you just like, because you know this and you're thinking about it, are you kind of making those feelings up?
Right. Are you like manifesting this? Yeah.
Yeah. But I can even feel things like, feeling too slow, like is related to the thyroid. I'm like, I feel like I can tell that my thyroid is like increased in function right now. And then when the conflict resolves, I can feel it going back. And so, so during the conflict, you're not necessarily feeling symptoms, but you're feeling stressed, you're feeling worried, you're feeling preoccupied about the thing. And so that persists for as long as the conflict goes on. And this is as long as it's not resolved, as long as you have kind of a conclusion to the story. But when the conclusion comes, when you get the phone call, when you get the text and you get the information, there's that sigh of relief. And then the body says, okay, now it's time. We were in conflict for 3 days. Now we need to heal. And there's going to be a minimum of 3 days of you being in the tissue restoration mode. So if tissue was lost, now it needs to be restored and built up. If tissue was built up, now it needs to be decomposed. If function was lost, we need to restore function. And so that's what's happening. During the healing phase, there are 2 phases. There's phase A. And so this is when you are tired, swollen, inflamed, exhausted, pain, headache, because the area in the brain, in addition to the area on the organ, the brain has to heal too. And so this is when there's pressure in your head and you feel the headache and you're
describing me right now. You're describing what I just went through. Yeah.
Yep. And this is when I'm sick. And so this is why this work totally changes your language, your interpretation of your symptoms, because you're not sick in these moments. You weren't sick even when you were stressed and in conflict activity. There's no such thing as sickness, really, because you're either adapting or you're healing. You're either adapting or repairing from the adaptation. Neither of those things are sick. Sick implies wrong. Sick implies something bad is going on, but nothing bad is going on. You had an experience. You reacted to that experience. Your body adapted to that experience, and now it's setting you back to normal. And so that's why, like, getting rid of the idea of, like, there's something wrong, bad, just because you don't feel well doesn't mean that something wrong is going on. But that's typically when people run to the doctor, run to the medicine cabinet, run to, their remedy of choice to reverse. If my fever's high, I have to bring it down. If I've got diarrhea, I need to stop it. If I can't go, I need to make it go. And so we tried to use chemical means to reverse what's going on, rather than this model helps you to, like, really understand what's happening and why.
All right. That was an amazing classroom teaching on the introduction to German New Medicine. This chart behind me is all about German New Medicine. 20 years ago, when my sister had breast cancer, I made a deep dive into this biological truth, and it demonstrates to me. It reminds me, being in my home, of what is true and what is not, and what the medical system has been promoting with radiation and chemotherapy and blah blah blah. Not so true. And this is truth to me, because when you can manage the conflict, you'll find the benign tumors will not exist in your temple, and your National Guard, your army will take care of all the things that all the little bugs, the viruses that invade your body, will be in total control by your microbiome and your brain. But we're in a real interesting state of mind right now. If the National Guard has been called out, and if someone can verify that news, somebody sent that to me, it'll be interesting how much conflict. We're all gonna be in what we call conflict stress. If the National Guard's been called out in 3 states, it might happen all over the country. We're all gonna be in some conflict stress. Because what does that mean? What that means is, from what I know, the sleeper cells that have invaded the United States are ready to attack. And what does that mean for us? Boot camp for peace. That's what we got to go. Training to keep this in peace. And then if we individually can keep this in peace, calm, trust, faith in the higher power to protect us, then the rest of the world just might change. But my feeling is these tumors are going to show up everywhere, inside and out there, if we don't learn how to forgive, get out of fear, balance the energy, meditate, essential oils. If we don't learn how to do that, then we're going to be feeling what she describes as the sympathetic system activating, with chronic thinking, cold feet, all that. So we got to take a break. And when we come back, we want to go into some of what she talked about: the psyche, brain, organ, conflict versus trauma, the constellations she mentioned, how this brain is actually a microcosm of the cosmic order of the universe, and why that's important, and how these hundreds of trillions of microbes living all over our body can keep our nervous system calm, with the National Guard here activated versus the National Guard of the Estados Unidos activated. It's going to be an interesting journey, brothers and sisters, going forward. And many of us have been preparing for this with guns, and who knows. The guns I have are right up here. Boom, 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 boom. Sending out love, sending out forgiveness, energy. All these are guns in my mind, peace guns. And it's time for us to get our weapons ready, whether they're inside or out. But it's time to prepare. With the National Guard has been called out, I hope we're prepared. You are prepared for whatever conflict is about to show up. And yesterday, before we go to bed, we talked about the iceberg yesterday. A military friend of mine brought this to my mind and explained how things are going on. The top of the iceberg is what we are seeing in the media right now. Bombs going off here, there, boom, boom, boom. And I learned about a different part of the below the iceberg today. That I'm going to just throw this one out. We've heard about Hamas doing these horrible, horrible things over there. And guess what? The Israeli government created Hamas. Now that's what's below the iceberg that a lot of people don't hear. They don't want to hear. They don't want to understand. But this is just one big show that we're political theater, psychopathic rulers, popcorn, psychopaths, narcissism. We've been seeing it all on display. And it's time for us to promote boot camp for peace, because this show's getting a little crazy right now. All right, we'll be right back after these messages.
Tune in to Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear great topics and stories on grief and turn it into victory. Join Dr. Debbie Green to listen to stories of triumph and learn how to overcome. You are not alone in your life, and there is hope in the darkest hour. This is your time to learn strategies and solutions to improve your life. It's your time. So join Dr. Debbie Green with Soulful Solutions and call in on Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 515-605-9325 with comments and questions. Look to hear from you real soon.
I'm Mama Caue. And I'm Reverend Rosemary. Join us every second Saturday of the month, 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time, here on the Female Solution Global Radio TV show for Neighborship of Joy. We'll have powerful conversations inviting women to walk in the light. So call in 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak to the host. You can also join us live on the Female Solution Facebook page and YouTube channel. So see you on the second Saturday on the Neighborship of Joy. Hey, it's time to take charge of your health. I'm Viyahta, your holistic life coach, and every Friday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I'm here on the Female Solution to empower you to make choices that will assist your evolution to abundant health. I'm also blogging every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at Soul Purpose Healing, where I bring you a spiritual chiropractic adjustment to bring you back into alignment with our Creator's love, compassion, and wisdom. Join me every Friday morning at 8 a.m. and Sunday evening at 8 p.m. for a time of unity, enlightenment, and love vibration. Shalom.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll share this show with your friends, family, so that we can promote the boot camp for peace. That's what we started yesterday on YouTube, Viyahta's Tiny House Village. Thank you all for joining me on there. And we are Facebook Live. This message is so important right now because the war is heating up, not just over there, but over here. It's always been heating up in every individual when we don't manage, balance our conflicts in life, whether it's mommy, daddy issues. Mommy didn't treat me right. Mommy was mean to me. Daddy's parents were mean to him. So he did what he was taught. And so we can move into forgiveness or not. You don't move into forgiveness. The body is programmed. This is the program here. Let me just, before I take a call, 262-833, coming to you next. This program starts with what we call the endoderm. That's the yellow section over here. The endoderm is the inner layer of the skin. This yellow section over here that you really can't see. That's when you're in the womb, the first 1 or 2, 3 months, there is a construction that goes on from the brain. The brain is created first. From the brain, the creator puts a line of endoderm throughout the body. This is called the first layer of skin. It's the Wi-Fi system that is the first layer in your body, all throughout the body. This wiring system goes through so that the brain can connect to certain organs when you have a trauma in a certain area of your brain. The next layer is called the mesoderm. All these diseases or cancer show up when your second layer, the next layer over the endoderm or the first layer, is the mesoderm. It's the second layer that connects to all these different parts of your body, whether it's prostate or your liver or your toe. It's all on the mesoderm. All these organs are connected with the mesoderm connection from the brain. It's certain parts of the brain, the cortex cerebral, the cerebellum, and the brain stem, all are involved in the connect. And then the last layer, your ectoderm, that's the layer you can see here. This layer on the skin, outside layer, ectoderm, has a connection to the cortex cerebral. There's a wire from the cortex cerebral, and the wiring system is all throughout the outer layer of the skin. So that when you have a conflict, let's just say the National Guard shows up in your country and everybody has ordered to do this, that's going to be a conflict. It's going to be a trauma. And guess what? That trauma is going to be located somewhere in the brain, and it's going to start sending a message to certain parts of your body. Now, how do you diffuse that or interrupt that conflict? Is breath work. National Guard communication to the microbiome. Listen, this is a part of living on planet Earth. The National Guard shows up every now and then to remind us that we are not in full control of this country, whatever. Breath work, essential oils bring change the energy of fear and worry. We're going to be in fear. People are going to be in fear. They see the National Guards running around in the street. What the hell is going on here? Oh my goodness, what are we going to do? And the nervous system, and guess what? The adrenal glands and the kidneys are going to go in full active mode because fear is going to be hitting United States. If it doesn't, if the sleeper cells in your body, the benign cells don't wake up, guess what? They might wake up out there in New York City where everybody's promoting Palestine and Hamas, and we need to kill the U.S. We hate the U.S. Stress time. There's going to be sympathetic activity in the body out there. It's going to be full grown attack. When we talk about invasion of Israel, whatever, these microbes are invading us. The stress hormones are being activated. The sensors are out. Like, what the hell's going on? But in the boot camp for peace, we're going to be helping you breathe through this trauma, breathe through this stress with the knowledge that our creator loves us. Our creator gave us this body to manage all this stress. And the stomach to the brain connection, we're going to downgrade from here, peace molecules. And we're going to downgrade forgiveness. If you've been holding on to unforgiveness for mommy and daddy issues, it's time to get rid of that, because it's not going to help your tumor activated cells and the sleeper cells that are being activated out. It's not going to help to hold on to unforgiveness. That's going to be another stress factor that's chronic. Okay. So let me go to the phones. I'm going to take a breath break, go to the phones and hear from you, because there's a lot going on. I want to know what's going on in your life right now, because it's about to change, brothers and sisters, about to change big time. 262-833, your mic is open.
Greetings. Can you hear me, my dear sister?
Yes, we can, brother Eddie Harris, I believe.
Yes, it is. And peace and love, family, and peace and love. And really quick, family, get you a pen and pencil so that you can take notes
Got
by
it.
the numbers of the words that
Got it.
I'm about to reveal to you, because we control the paradigm. And
Yes.
especially when we write it down,
Yes.
we manifest it. We can manifest it. So I'm starting off with the numbers revealing the metaphysics of Friday the 13th, because this is a day that they have us, again, fear, running away, scared of Friday the 13th, or the number itself, 13, stop the madness. So, first and foremost, metaphysics. Meta is 14 by number. You know, 1 plus 4 is the 5. Physics is 31. 3 plus 1 is 4. So that's where we are. Friday equals 23, the 5. And it's the 13th, the 4. So again, knowing that we truly have the power to do what needs to be done, and starting off with that 5 and 4 with today's class. Can, sir, can, as we can do, can is 5. Sir is 13. Metaphysics, family. We control the paradigm. Stop letting others control, because thought being 41 to 5 is what we are exploring. 31 being the 4. Because we have talked about, even this morning, that death, 23 to 5, is no more than a transition. Transition is 40, metaphysics. And it's because the heaven that we've been taught is right here, that starts from the brain. Heaven is 23, 5. Brain is 14, 5. We are the watcher. Watcher is 31, the 4. The key is to be able to, not to be able, but to do, to practice. Practice is 32. What you teach is 22. Metaphysics. And by way of using love being 14, which is 5, which is all the weapons we need. Weapons is 22. No weapon formed against us can prosper when we use love that starts from the brain, family, up top. And remember, what they are using, and we constantly say, is biological warfare. Biological warfare is 58, which is 4, along with the chemicals from all the drugs, pills, and everything else we take. Chemicals are 32, which is 5. Biological warfare and chemicals are being used. We know this comes in the form of food. Food is 14, which is 5. And the food that we constantly talk about is genetically modified, engineered, GMO, which is artificial. Artificial food. Artificial is 40. Food is 14, 5. Artificial is 40, which is 4. Metaphysics. This is what they're using in the biological warfare of chemicals. But knowing that we have the power to fix all, we are able to see. When that third eye opens and we can see, sees with an S is 22. We can see all, because it's all starting from love. 14 is heal. And 22 is myself. We have the power in metaphysics, even in today's date, to heal myself, to heal yourself, family. We run into the practicing physician known as a doctor, But when we see that practice is 32 and doctor is 23, we are the actual doctors that starts from our own thought. Because at the end of the day, as we said, it's political theater or Hollywood pictures. Holly is 14, pictures is 40. Metaphysics, but once we start to write, become the writer. Writer is 31. We can manifest, which is 32. Metaphysics. And it all starts from what we did at the very beginning of class. Rest, not only your brain, your mind, but your body. Rest is 23. And once you rest, start to breathe. Breathe is 31. During your rest period, this is why they call it respiratory. We breathe and concentrate on your breathing until it becomes natural. Natural is 23. This is why we wore a hairstyle that was called the natural, aka the afro. Afro happens to be 14, 5, and natural is 23. With that, and love being 14, because love conquers all. Love, 14, conquers 32. All is 5, 5, 5, 5. I'm going to leave with that. Peace and love, family.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Especially the weapon that we need to bring forth is love. Love for self. And we're learning today. Thank you so much, Brother Eddie in Chicago. Be safe because stuff is heating up. And the weapon of love comes first in the brain cells, as he said. The divine intelligence, not artificial, divine intelligence says our brain needs to activate the love molecule. Forgive myself for all the prostituting I did, for all the language that came out of my mouth that hurt my brother and sisters. Forgive myself first. That's the biggest weapon in the boot camp for peace is forgiveness for self. Starting right here with self is the weapon we need to keep foremost. Now, that doesn't say you don't pick up your weapon of mass destruction or whatever when the sleeper cells are out there killing folks, like in the country Middle East. No, we got to be wise about what weapons to use in every situation. When it's just you, and you've been holding on to chronic conflict with your brother, sister, mommy, daddy, whatever, the weapon of love has to come out and practice forgiveness and fearlessness, that faith in the most high creator, cosmic universe. The cosmic order is what we need to activate. The constellations in the brain. There is no war up there that I'm aware of in the astrology cosmic order. The microcosm of peace is activating love. Brother Kwame Sunhorse, your mic is open. Sounds like you're on the road. Brother Kwame Sunhorse, your mic is open. Are you on mute? No, you're not on mute because we can hear noises in the background. Okay, Kwame, we'll come back to you. Thank you so much, Brother Eddie, bringing up the metaphysics. Okay, so Brother Eddie says I'm breaking up, but I think it was part of it was the noise coming from when I opened up Kwame's mic. There's a lot of noise there. So questions, comments. This is your time. We got to take another break. I'm going to be on time with the break, our last break. Okay, thank you. Kwame, come back on if you can maybe pull over. It sounded like you were driving, which Kwame's on the road doing his powerful healing thing. So many of us may need to be on the road too. My sister Zelda says, Grand Rising, natural people, kudos, mathematicians, learning so much. Thanks for sharing your wisdom. That's right. Uh, we're here to share our wisdom. Each one of us can contribute to the uplifting and the education of all those who listen in, because we've all had an experience on this planet that has taught us some very important lessons if we were in class. You know, if you had these lessons and you weren't in the divine natural class of hearing, like, what does this mean? You have cancer. Here's an example before we go to the break of lessons to learn. You go to the doctor because all the symptoms of cancer have been manifesting for weeks and months even, and you have ignored them. You take an aspirin, you go into the gym, and yet you still come home tired. Your digestion is poor. You got pain in your gut. Your stomach hurts all the time. Your joints are aching. Your eyes are blurry. All these symptoms show up, and you ignore them, and you take like brother Eddie said, you take chemicals to try and suppress all the symptoms that might be saying your benign cells are activating. Okay, why? Because you've had all this unforgiveness for years, and you've had all this fear about everything you read in the newspaper and everything that CNN shows. Oh my goodness, look what's happening. So all of that shows up and you don't do anything about it. So you go to the doctor. The doctor said, well, let's do some tests. Isn't that what they always say? I wish there were doctors who would say, tell me what's going on in your life for the last year or so. Let's talk about that. We need MDs to be psychologists, psychiatrists, more than prescription writers right now, especially in these days. So you go to the doctor and he says, let's do some tests. Let's find out what's going on because I don't know. You know, he's not going to say that. But let's just do some tests because the test will tell us what's going on, right? No. The tests come back, you go pay another $100, or your insurance company pays another $100, whatever. And he says, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you have cancer. And the quiet, he might be quiet, you might be quiet. And after you leave there, you might be seriously depressed. Most people are seriously depressed when the doctor says you have cancer. And he might say, and you probably only have 6 weeks to live. Now, this is what happened to my mother when she finally got a diagnosis of all the symptoms in her body that were going on. Her liver was a mess, but she had been an alcoholic all my life. And by the time she went to the doctor and they said, you have cancer, you got 6 weeks to live, she died almost 6 weeks to the day. One reason was that her doctor's name was James Johnson. That was her brother's name. Boy, did she have faith in that guy. James, my doctor's name is the same as my brother's. Johnsons are everywhere. So I don't know why she bought into that lie. But I'm just saying, after that diagnosis, her body went almost shut down. James Johnson, her brother, just told her she had cancer. She believed him. 6 weeks later, my mother went one day into a nursing home and she said, I'm not staying here. She took her last breath and she said, I'm out of here. Mom is somewhere. Mom is here with me in invisible form now. That's how I look at it now. I got over the loss real quick because she had been suffering for a while. But I'm just saying that's when the tumor is a blessing. When a doctor tells you you have cancer, that's a wake-up call. You've been ignoring the signs in your body, been ignoring your brain telling you got to do something about that headache you have every day. You've been ignoring your body, the messages from your body, been ignoring them for years, months, who knows. And then the cancer, the benign cells are now activated, malignant. They're ready to bring some pain and suffering. Okay, that's what's going on in the Middle East right now, and we might see it here in the United States. Chickens coming home to roost, whatever the word phrase is. We cannot continually oppress, bomb, Bomb your friends with I hate you. Bomb your friends with resentment, anger. Can't continually, chronically do these hateful, low energy things and expect your body's not going to respond, or the society is not going to respond to all this low vibration frequencies that have been going out for years. We have allowed our government to bomb other countries, to take down other leaders. Gaddafi comes to mind. We have been allowing this, just like in our body. We're allowing the headache to show up every day, every whatever, for years, and then go to the doctor. You have cancer. Surprise! Your body ain't surprised. Our body's been talking to us. That was my first book, My Body's Talking to Me. That's when I started waking up. So thank you, heaven. Thank you, creator. Thank you, universe, for waking me up enough. And for a father like this who was teaching me about physical education, that I'm here faithfully to share what I have learned, the lessons. And that's what this was all about when I started this rant, the lessons. Pay attention to all the lessons, especially in times of war. My partner, Mikael, was with me yesterday. We did this video and the lessons. He is now meditating, thinking about the lessons from Vietnam. And I imagine a lot of veterans out there, I hope they're experiencing the mental activity, the National Guard reminder. What were and are the lessons? And then we can suppress the malignant cells and put them back in benign mode. Middle East, what are the lessons? It's not taking sides. We can't take sides on this. Too many karmic patterns in this war situation. No sides. Please don't come out talking about in Jesus' name, kill Hamas. That's stupid. Ignorance, insanity to be bringing Jesus in on this situation. No, no, no. The only reason Jesus, Yeshua, Spirit of love needs to come in is to help you change your energy in your body to forgiveness, no fear, and full faith in the creator that put us this loving energy in this temple of a master biological computer, from the gut, the micro trillions of cells in the gut, to the cells in the National Guard unit that's communicating to the army, your microbiome. We can only have gratitude. That's one of the highest frequencies. And those are the lessons that we should all be carrying in these times of turmoil and war. Gratitude, forgiveness, fearlessness, all of those. Last break coming up, and we'll be back to take your calls. We got a few who have pressed 1, so we'll come back. I hope Kwame is open his mic again. We'll be back right after these messages. Where do I want to go here? Here we go.
Tune in to Soulful Solutions with Dr. Debbie Green on Thursdays at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to hear great topics and stories on grief and turn it into victory. Join Dr. Debbie Green to listen to stories of trial and learn how to overcome. You are not alone in your life, and there is hope in the darkest hour. This is your time to learn strategies and solutions to improve your life. It's your time. So join Dr. Debbie Green with Soulful Solutions and call in on Thursday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 515-605-9325 with comments and questions. Look to hear from you real soon.
What if you could live to be 120 years old and remain active, healthy, alert, and vibrant? Our bodies are made up of cells that are constantly rejuvenating. So if we take proper care of ourselves, we can literally defy aging. Join us every Tuesday from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time to learn about self-care from Susan Essentials on the Female Solution Blog Talk Radio Show. Learn how to help your body and yourself feel rejuvenated each day through proper nutrition, sleep, frequency medicine, and many unconventional methods of self-care. I'm Jody Susan. Join me and my amazing guests by calling in at 515-605-9325 and press 1 to speak. We'll help you achieve a breakthrough in your health today.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif. Join me and my co-host Kareem Hamid every Wednesday morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the Female Solution Radio Show, as we explore that relationship that is the foundation for our society, the relationship between men and women, husbands and wives. Join our discussion as we seek to repair broken family ties and rebuild our community. Listen online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in and comment 515-605-9325. Press 1 to speak to our host. Or you can join us live on Facebook at www.facebook.com/the-female-solution.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me this morning for a very important part 2 of Boot Camp for Peace. And we're talking about the root cause of malignant cancer cells. Because the reality is those cells are alive and active in New York, probably in Chicago. Sorry, guys. Probably in California. And who knows where else, because we have had cells in the thousands invading this country from the south, from the north, and some of those cells are just ready to be activated. They're angry. They might be benign when they came in. Oh, we just want citizenship. We just want to be part of your microbiome. We just want to join with the family of trillions of microbiome. We just want to come and have fun and enjoy America. And then all the malignant, chronic unforgiveness, chronic anger. Why would Israel do this? Why would Hamas do this? Why is this? The polarization gets activated, and we're seeing the best show on the planet. And we, as citizens of the Estados Unidos, are going to reap what we sowed. That's really what the National Guard is activated in this brain to know how long is the universe going to allow this psychopathic, narcissistic, sick government to bomb other countries, change regimes, activate the drones and kill children? The same thing going on in the Middle East. How long is a government, and it's not the people. We love them. We send a greeting to our global family in the beginning and end of the show. So we know the power to the people who are innocent. But these psychopathic governments, narcissistic egomaniacs need to go. And that's who is creating this great drama show for us to learn the lessons. And then it's up to you individually. Activate your National Guard, your brain, and send messages to your microbiome, your army, to get ready. Get ready for the invasion of cells that don't love you. They want to give you a lesson. I'm going to grow some tumors in your ass to help you forgive your mother, let's say, or your father. I'm going to grow some tumors in your lung to help you stop breathing out hateful words and criticizing and judging, all the things we've all done. But at some point, you got to activate this amazing biological computer and realize it runs on love. It runs on joy. It runs best when you forgive. So let me go back, see if Kwami's ready. Kwame Sunhorse, you still got your hand up. Did you want to say?
Rising, Sister Viyahta.
Okay. You're on the road. You're on the road. Go ahead.
Yes, but I've been listening to the show as I'm headed back. I'm just leaving Birmingham. I'm on my way back to Atlanta. But what I've been hearing and you're sharing about this boot camp and the part of the microbiomes and the brain. And speaking what Brother Eddie brought in, the love. The heart is the seat of the will.
Thank you.
And the part that we're looking at is that the cells, when are we going to open the door to the heart to free? This is what moves the cells in the body, is the heart. The heart is the main pump that pumps everything. It's the drill sergeant. It gets everything moving. So the part that we're looking at the gut, yes, the microbiomes in the gut, but we have also in the brain what we call astrocyte. This is the projection into the astral, into our cosmic self. And we're looking at this whole thing of what goes on in Palestine and what happened in Israel. All it is that land was taken from the Palestinians, and they've been tired of these people coming in and overtaking their country. The same thing that happened here in this country. The backing of the money bankers. So we're looking at, and who made the bombs that they used? That's where you look at who are supplying the weapons. Where does the weapons come from? They don't have no gun factories there. They don't have no bomb factories there. Where are the weapons coming from?
Right
We're
here.
looking at all of this distraction, and tomorrow is the Ring of Fire eclipse. Today is Friday the 13th. There's no that's happening in this new season of the fall, and we're focused on distractions. We're talking about death when we need to look at life. You can't have any peace in the world if there ain't no peace inside of you, and you can see that by all of the people that are doing what they're doing. There's no peace in those people because their whole system is toxic.
And
they're disconnected from their mother.
I love that you brought in the drill sergeant, because we forgot to connect that yesterday on my YouTube video of boot camp for peace. We forgot to mention or just connect the drill sergeant causing the heart of the army to move, the heart, activating that heart energy. You're so right on that. The drill sergeant in this picture is the one who's really pushing, motivating the heart of the whole system to move.
I'm losing my signal, so I'll listen as I go. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank us. Okay, so he brought in another element of the army, that drill sergeant, the heart. Again, this body is the most advanced biological computer on the planet. That's why my focus is always to go inside, to have inner standing. We need to understand our biggest weapon right here is to protect us. This body was created to protect us, to help us move, to motivate us, to show forth the glory of the Creator. So let me go to another phone caller, because we got about 10 minutes left. Let's see. 312-882. Your mic is open. Welcome. What's your comment or question?
We on Yashalom. Hoorah. We don't die, we multiply.
All right.
Black is beautiful, Dr. B.
Hallelujah.
Minister Plump, Robert Floyd Plump, and assalamu alaikum to you. How you feel?
I'm doing great. The weather in Florida is perfecto. Perfecto. 80s.
Hallelujah.
Yes, loving it. How about you in Chicago? Naima was wearing a red suit.
Blessed, fantastically blessed, and all about success breeds success. I have a comment, which is what the brother just reflected on the heart. And the word of God, says, none but the pure in the heart and the righteous is going to see God. So we all need God. God is a better way of life that we can promote plump. Peace, love, unity, marketing people. And that's what we're doing concerning in Chicago, the Million Man March this coming Monday, which is October the 16th in 2023. We're going to be at Lake Grove Village, and that's apartments at 3515 South Cottage Grove from 10 o'clock a.m. to 10 p.m. promoting the Million Man March. And that way is a way that we can demonstrate long live the Million Man March, and brothers and sisters promoting unity in the community, and promoting peace, love, unity, marketing people, freedom, justice, equality, and economics. And brothers and sisters have to call Minister Plump at 312-882-5935 in order to get in the building.
Now let me ask you, Minister Plump. Thank you for that
yes,
commercial. Thank you for that commercial, Minister Plump. Were you in the military, Minister Plump?
Yes, ma'am. I was Vietnam era, and I'm so glad that now, as a result, I can promote, what I just said, about, fighting against violence of any kind. The Harold Washington Foundation and the People's March is sponsoring, promoting peace in the hood. Let us do some more good, and everybody can help stop the violence, robbing, stealing, and killing, and help save our children, especially the Black children.
All right. So Minister Plump, Minister Plump, we salute your time in the military. I'm going to go to the next caller. You've been promoted. You've been promoted. You're no longer a GI, which is, I learned yesterday from my partner, God issue or government issue. You are now God issued or CI, creator issued. So thank you, Minister Plump. Share that with your people that you've been promoted a long time ago, but you're no longer the government issued human. You are a CI, creator issue, promoting love, peace, and truth. Let me go to, 312-632. Did I open your mic already?
Admiral Nelson Bay.
Admiral Nelson Bay, my German New Medicine practitioner as well. What sayeth thou, Admiral Nelson Bay?
Secret societies exposed. Did you know that a lot of African American people are actually just American people?
Really?
Yeah. Just American people, Indigenous American people, Native American people, Aboriginal American people, organic to the land American people. I'm going to tell you a little ago, long before any honkies, pale faces, or crackers existed on the planet Earth, dark-skinned, woolly-haired, heavily melanated beings inhabited every square inch of the planet Earth long before the land masses even shifted. One more time, dark-skinned, woolly-haired,
okay, thank you. We've only got
heavily melanated beings inhabited every square inch of the planet Earth long before the continents even shifted.
Okay.
So in 1492, when Christopher Columbus and his Spanish conquistador buddies came over here under the Spanish Inquisition and the doctrine of discovery and discovered a land that had already been inhabited by 4 millions of years, that had a highly developed, highly advanced civilization already here. They found highly melanated, woolly-haired, copper-complected people
the organic to the land organic people of the Americas with a highly developed civilization. There's actually more pyramids on this side than there is on that side. In fact, the pyramids here are older than the ones at Giza.
Okay,
The
so
pyramids over
okay, so
here
Admiral
are
Nelson
seconds.
Bay. Okay, we're getting a little
At
off
Giza.
topic. We're
Did
getting a
you
little
know
off topic,
that
Nelson
the
Bay.
original
Okay,
name
gotta
of
go.
Mexico
Sorry,
City?
gotta go. We're almost out of time, so I'm going to just summarize this. In reality, in spiritual reality, in historical reality, we were all different colors at different times. So whether you were Native American for this period or that period, we've all been white,
60
brown,
seconds.
black. We've all been different races, and people who have near-death experiences realize the bodies they inhabited in past life. There have been many Europeans who said they were Africans in past life. So racism is ignorance. When people in your life are judging because of the color of a person's skin, they need to overstand the reality that we've all been in different color houses for hundreds and thousands of years. And that's why the war over there is ridiculous, because it's not ridiculous. It's a huge lesson, huge lesson. And that's how we come out of fear, anxiety, and we get into forgiveness, boot camp for peace.
10 seconds.
What's going on over there and which is going to happen here, I believe, shortly, is all about lessons, life lessons, how to stay in shalom, peace, when the world around you has lost their effing mind. We got one more caller. I'm going to let say something. 773-450. We only have you have about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's amazing how we live in a world where everybody's supposed to be about peace. And then all you got is war and confusion and unrest. Boy, that's why you got all that cancer, all that negativity.
Yes.
When are we going to join together? But there's one thing I notice about people is you can always tell the difference. When they look at somebody and then they start criticizing you, looking for faults in you. What is their problem? Why aren't they looking for the best in you? They can't change anything about you. So if we can't live in harmony, look at what we got in place of that.
All right. That's
like you said, there are some of us that are about peace. Let's keep the peace rolling.
All right. That's Brother Obadiah. Thank you, Obadiah in Chicago. You guys in Obadiah, you guys in Chicago, stay safe, because things about to hit the fan. It has hit the fan. We just haven't seen it yet. This is the iceberg experience we're living right now. What we're seeing above the water is mainstream media storytelling and drama from our political theater. It's all above the iceberg. When you go underwater, take a deep dive, go underwater, go on things like Rumble and Telegram, and get underwater and find people who know what's going on underwater, because all that stuff is coming to the surface. When they say when shit hits the fan, that means stuff coming up from the bottom underneath the iceberg. And yes, Obadiah, people are out there acting crazy, practicing what their parents taught them. Me included, we criticized our children. We nagged our husbands because our parents demonstrated that behavior, and we don't unlearn it until we get a tumor sometimes. We don't unlearn the unforgiveness until the sleeper cells wake the F up in our neighborhoods. So everybody stay in love, mainly, as the brothers have spoken today. We didn't have any women speaking today other than me. That's okay. We're balanced here. We're teachers. We're students. Stay in peace, because things are going to hit the fan. They already hit the fan. They just haven't come up from the iceberg underneath. But just get ready. Get ready. Find your favorite tree and embrace it for many days to come. And we've got, let me just from our Facebook, Grand Rising, thank you for being a fantastic host, Viyahta. That's from our Naima, our executive producer. Olivia Mazian says, so events happen to keep us distracted from us connecting to source and energy, from the moon and nature, to keep evolving in consciousness. This eclipse will be more new beginnings. Thank us. Hallelujah to thank you, Olivia. Yes, you're part of the United Spirits coming up. HLN Zelda says great show. And my tree hugger Zelda says trees for life. Woohoo! All right, everybody, come back tomorrow. The Female Solution is dedicated to promoting truth, love, light, and wisdom. So don't miss a show on the Female Solution, because we're going to be here for you throughout the trauma that's hitting the fan right now. And don't worry, just keep breathing. And if you got the trees in your neighborhood, go to the trees. That's your protection. That's your comfort. And if you have no trees in your neighborhood, I suggest you move. Get the hell out of that neighborhood, because trees are your life source. So everybody have a great day. Go out and get some sun. And we are now going to embrace our global family. We're not dropping no bombs on anybody. We're going to send you love, love, love all over the planet. That's what we
We've
do
come to the end of our show
here
today,
at the Female
but you
Solution.
can hear every show
Thank you,
in the
thank you,
archives
thank you.
at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. You can also hear today's show on the Female Solution Facebook page. Go to www.facebook.com/the-female-solution. Leave your comments about today's show. You can always reach me on my website at www.naimalatif.com. That's www.naimalatif.com. Watch our TV shows, listen to our radio shows, order our books, and be sure to get your copy of the book, The Female Solution. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussion. And to our global family listening from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, Sheshe.
Sheshe.
India, Zanyaba.
Sanyaba.
Japan, Arigato.
Arigato.
Korea, Kamsamnida.
Kamsamida.
Russia, Spasiba.
Spasiba.
Germany, Danke.
Danke.
Poland, Jonkunyong.
Jonkinyong.
France, Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Spain, Gracias.
Muchos gracias.
Italy, Grazie.
Grazie.
Egypt, Shukran.
Shukran.
Ghana, Medasi.
Madasi.
Nigeria, Eshe.
Eshe.
South Africa, Niabong.
Niabonga.
Senegal, Geret.
Geret.
Kenya, Asante.
Asante.
Israel, Toda.
Todaraba.
Pakistan, Shukriya.
Shukriyan.
Afghanistan, Tashakur.
Tashakur.
Saudi Arabia, Shukran.
Shukran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum. And to all my yogi friends out there, namaste and satnam and aloha to all you beautiful Hawaiians, especially Lahaina, Maui. Stand strong. Stand strong. Love you. Mwah. Shalom.